Hello Taurus, welcome back to my body and heart tarot therapy. Sorry for the very late video, it is what it is, life happens. So Taurus, I hope you're well. This is a general reading for Taurus, Sun, Moon and Rising signs. If it resonates, it resonates. And if it doesn't, it just doesn't. So let's see what's going on with my dear Taurus. I don't know what that was. Alright, so Queen of Pentacles. This is your current energy, where you find yourself right now. Interesting space. You seem to be quite in your element as you're viewing this reading. The Queen of Pentacles could very much be Taurus energy. Now, what's challenging in your life for this month coming now? This reading is kind of July, August, about a month from when you're actually viewing this, right? So it seems that what's troubling you are relationships, exchange, healthy exchange, if that makes sense to you. All right, your advice is the Hermit. Oh, that's pretty straightforward, like take space. And what's the future energy? What's this for? What is it that you're learning, integrating in the future? Oh, wow. Seems that simply by taking some space and by going into self-reflection, the hermit mode, you are going deeper into real love, into how to actually work this out, and understanding how to work together with your partner, whether that's love partner or other type of partnership. But I think it's very much romance based, this reading, apparently, having two of cups and the lovers in it. Okay, and here's another two, bottom of your deck. This is your theme of this month. This is kind of what what's your lesson, you know? The lesson is this Two of Pentacles, finding your balance, finding a way to be flexible. Really, it's a lot about being flexible by holding more than one ball in the air, and not attach yourself to how things should look like. This is why sometimes relationship can be very challenging, because we, in our minds, based on our conditioning, coming from society, coming from, I don't know, the romantic books we've read, or Hollywood, or whatever, Disney, we have some ideas about how this relationship should look like. Or even worse, for better or worse, based on the models that we actually grew up in, right? Like in very early childhood, the relationships that we witness and we experience through our caretakers are very much the model that we based our relationship in our adulthood on. And that obviously always need some type of revisiting. Okay, I'm going to pull out the clarifiers before we even go deeper into this. So the Queen of Pentacles. Why is the Queen of Pentacles here as your current energy? Okay, it's a lot. So what's going on? It's really a lot. Okay, Temperance. It's reiterating this, but at a deeper level. Temperance talks also about emotional stability and being able to literally transmute emotions, you know, like the Temperance talks about alchemy, talks about being able to put few elements, different elements together and get something else, having them not even expand, like literally, like they're not what they used to be. Once you put this together with this, and they just become something else. And that's what happens when you have two individuals coming together. Anyhow, let's talk from the Queen of Pentacles, your current energy, which is somebody who's nurturing, who's caring, who's practical, who's very grounded, somebody who understands patience and who understands growth and who understands the value of things, the value of everything. Sometimes can get a bit materialistic and a bit canonic about how things can be done, so be careful there. So what do you have with it? You have the Father of Cups, the King of Cups, basically, the Nine of Cups, the Son of Pentacles, and Temperance. Ooh la la, it's a lot going on in here. Taurus, what's going on in here? It seems that your current energy is very interesting. I think you're experiencing things at different levels. So maybe because you're so grounded right now and you're very much in your element for whatever reason that may be, maybe something really works in your life right now and that allows you to be present. And then you see you have this Father of Cups, which is basically the King of Cups. It means you're emotionally stable, you're emotionally aware, you feel everything without having to be driven by your emotions, you know, like your emotions don't force you to take an action or another, you're not reactive. It's more like they inform you of what is it that you really need, and you see the practical value of those emotions, and that's what helps you to understand your needs. You know, the Nine of Cups talks about having your emotional needs fulfilled, and helps you, like, you know, slow down and be very, very patient with yourself first, but also with your partner. And with Temperance, yeah, I really think that there's a lot of potential right now within you. There's so much potential for whatever is challenging you in your relationship life to truly transform. And come on, look at this, it really does. Okay. Let's see why is this Two of Cups here? Maybe fewer cards this time, please. Why is the Two of Cups of your challenge? What is challenging for you right now in relationships? The Four of Pentacles, the Son of Wands, and the Father of Pentacles. That's interesting because you have both the King and the Queen of Pentacles. Well, here she appears as a lady, here he appears as a reindeer or whatever that is. Yeah, so I think what seems to be challenging is to state boundaries or to hold boundaries. Maybe the boundaries have been stated, but somebody maybe it's a bit over enthusiastic and is going through certain personal experiences and transformations, and then in these moments maybe those boundaries are a bit difficult to be kept, or the boundaries need to transform, need to adapt. You know, the Four of Pentacles can talk also about rigidity. Maybe some of the boundaries that you've stated with this person or that you've created together aren't relevant anymore, have to change, and that moment is uncomfortable, you know, because first of all, whenever somebody brings in, hey, let's change these boundaries, can feel a bit like a breach of a contract, you know, yeah, but we said we're going to do things this way, and then I come and say, well, it doesn't work for me anymore, we need to change that. I know I said this last month or last year or last week, but somehow something changed within me, and I want you to keep you in the loop, you know. I don't want you to be out of this, but I don't have yet a solution of how to work with this. This could be, for example, a thing. With Father of Pentacles here as the challenging part here, could be that the other person or you tend to be a little bit hard-headed. No, I'm not saying. More like, well, it doesn't come in English right now, the word comes in other languages. Yeah, I mean, like, a little bit holding on too much to your opinions or to his or her opinions. It's a bit stubborn. That's the word, stubborn. There's a certain stubbornness there that comes from being like, oh, very confident and very sure that things are the way they are for a reason, and you or the other person definitely know how these should be, or things like this. And definitely that's difficult when boundaries need to change. to address this with somebody who's very, very, again, practical, and be like, contract. Hey, this is a contract. This is a transaction. This is how we negotiated our boundaries last time. Now we want to change them again. This could be you too, but I think it's the other person, because the way I see it, you're the one going through quite a lot of transformation. You're the one with a lot of emotional maturity right now, and you're the one that understands that, has the vantage point and understands that things need to be changed for whatever reason. So I would guess that in this situation, this is more about the other person. All right, why is the Hermit here as your advice? Okay, interesting. Two tens, the 10 of Wands and the 10 of Cups. I would say that the Hermit is coming as your advice for two very particular reasons. First of all, is to understand what is it that you're carrying on your shoulder that you don't need to carry anymore. What is it that you feel makes you feel overburdened and heavy, and maybe entangled in things that maybe are not your responsibility. And also, what is it that truly makes you happy? What is it that you really, really want? You're getting a taste of it with the 9 of Cups here. You're feeling into it. But you see, this is the 10 of Cups. This is actually getting it. What is it that you really need? Can you visualize this for yourself? Can you see? Like, sometimes we know a lot about what we don't want. Or we have a very abstract idea about what happiness could look like. But it can be very idealized and very out of this reality. I don't know what these sounds are. I think my neighbors are doing something. Initially, I thought it's like a creature in my room, like a small animal, but no, I think it's the neighbors. So, with the Hermit, it's all about like taking space, taking time for yourself, going into some type of solitude, if you can, if you have the space to do so, or can be just mental space sometimes, like, removing yourself from dynamics for a while. And bring this light of healing. You see the star is right in here. And investigate. Going into investigation mode. See what is it that you... Again, these things that we just talked about. What overburdens you and what would bring you happiness. How would it really look like? And this is an important exercise, and trust me, this is hard for me, for example. I don't know, I was just sharing my experience of this to show how it can be difficult. For me, for example, it's very hard to really visualize a life that I would be happy. Because happiness, again, we glorify it. We think that in order to be happy, we need to be happy all the time. Sorry. That's not it, It's more about finding joy, and it's more about being kind of allowing to feel everything that we feel, the ups and the downs, the everything, So it's more about like really finding the inner resources and the commitment to oneself to know that one can really go through pretty much everything, and still be okay with oneself, not turn on oneself. I think that's what real happiness really is. But that's, again, something that it requires being fully present, being fully aware, and being fully honest with oneself especially. And then it's difficult because people challenge us. We can also get skewed vision. Many times we can think one thing and feel another, and be confused between the mind and the gut, and between the mind and the heart, and all these. And obviously in relationships that can happen a lot, because we all have different perspectives or different understandings of things and gestures and words and that and concepts. So investigation of what is it that's really within you right now is very important. And if you can do that in solitude, that doesn't mean breaking up or moving away from the company or running away from home. It just means taking some time for yourself. Go into a solo journey, retreat mode, or if you just take some time somehow and really reflect on this. This is something that we all could benefit from doing every once in a while, understanding kind of really what is it that we need to let go of, and that would enable us to go in a completely new cycle, in a completely new journey, and take upon ourselves, the next cycle, the Ace of Wands, which is an epiphany, an insight, a deep understanding of something. Well, more than understanding, it's almost like a moment of clicking, something clicking into space. And I think it has very much, again, related to how you view love so far, how you viewed happiness, and how honest that, or clear, or realistic that vision is. Okay, what are the Lovers and the Three of Pentacles as future energy? No, that's way too much, honey. Sorry, that's half a deck. I could have taken the Hangman, though. Okay, okay. You can have them all. And bottom of the deck here. Okay, so I don't even know what's what. Okay, those were from here. So with the Lovers and the Three of Pentacles, you have the Five of Pentacles, the Devil, no, Five of Cups, the Devil, the Ace of Pentacles, and the World. That's very interesting. This is truly, truly fascinating if you think about it. So here you have the Devil and the Lovers coming together. This is a 15, that's number 6 as well. These are basically mirroring cards. They're mirroring each other. The Lover talks about like actual love and respect and healthy exchanges and holding space and so on in the context of a relationship, but also in a relationship with self. And the Devil talks about codependency, about what holds us back, about what holds us small, about our fears and traumas and things like that, and how we are literally creating these characters and personas and behaviors that come out of us in order for us to not feel that pain. You know, we're dissociating, or we're doing things that, you know, they're not good for us. Like, I don't know, the drink, the drugs, the alcohol, the sex, I said drinks, the having sex with the wrong person or at the wrong time when you're in a committed relationship, for example. This kind of stuff, you know, these things. And they're showing up here as mirroring each other. But it comes up with learning how to work with this, learning how to work with in a healthy way, having these at the middle. Look at this. You have also the Five of Cups. That's where the pain is. That's where the grief is. That's where the loss is. So if you experience loss and pain, then you would have probably the tendency to run away from it and do all those behaviors, or one of them, whichever yours is. Escapist behaviors, so you don't feel the pain. Or the other partner, or both of you, one way or another. We all have our traumas. And thinking with healthy relationships, it's about working together to hold space for each other to heal. It's not about enmeshment. It's not that confusing my pain with yours and yours with mine. It's not about rigid boundaries or no boundaries at all. It's about like, hey, you're a person, I'm a person. We both have our individual world within ourselves and our perception of the world, and we mirror back at each other certain things. We can actually use that in order to, like, when I feel triggered by you, I understand how to work with it, and the same goes around. And it's not about policing each other, hey, you just project your shit on me, or hey, blah 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 blah. It's much more about like learning to not identify with our shadows, not identify with our shadow behavior that comes from unhealed trauma, but rather to develop compassion for it, both for the other and for the self. And whenever we feel like the other person's gone astray, maybe into a self-worth trip, for example, where they feel really unworthy, or who knows what, maybe compensating for that, so going into an what's it called, like when the ego just gets overinflated or whatever, then instead of like trying to name it and say, hey, you're doing this, blah 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 blah, we end up like, hey, putting the breadcrumbs for them to come back to us, to come back to here. Sometimes it can be like just giving them a hug, or a look in the eye that's very caring and deep, or just changing your own breath, you know, sometimes just like slowing down my breath and really relaxing in my own like body. I can see the other person slowly coming into presence as well, this kind of stuff, you know. And see, you have the Ace of Pentacles and the World coming through, so I think that you're learning some very, very deep lessons in this relationship, whatever that relationship is. You really learning how to work with each other. You really learn to adapt your boundaries, to create them again, to build something bigger. And there's huge opportunity with the Ace of Pentacles and the World. You see, there's like you creating something new. I mean, I see these two circles, and this holds this golden thing inside, and this has so many layers. So it's really beautiful. It's really beautiful, Taurus. Let me pull a Rumi Oracle card for you. Divine Discontent. Okay, so basically whatever it is that's a difficulty right now, it's a blessing in disguise, because you need to go deeper within your own journey, have your own spiritual growth, because the Ten of Wands talks about spiritual growth and ending of a cycle, and so does the World. So you're finally working with a part of yourself that, you know, gets integrated, a shadow part of yourself, and so does the other your partner. So that's really beautiful. So this is necessary. And also navigating conflicts, navigating challenges and uncomfortable moments in partnerships of all kinds are very important, right? The way we navigate them. And we all have unhealthy tendencies to a certain degree, whether we internalize them from the way we were raised, whether the way we were treated in school or in society, or I don't know, wherever. The point is to see them and to see where the wound really is, and to allow for self-investigation, and to kind of dispel the illusions that we put on the other person. You see, that's leading to all this magnificent growth and work. And this is Six of Swords. I completely forgot about this one. So back at the theme of your reading, it's about being able, again, to not impose how things should look like, but be flexible. Be flexible with your boundaries, be flexible with how things can be communicated, or actions. Okay, it's good to have an idea, a goal in mind, an understanding of what happiness and joy, what brings you joy and happiness, or what that constitutes a healthy, loving relationship. But the way to get there doesn't need to be in a very particular way. And the Six of Swords talks about resolution and talks about, you know, healing, moving forward from a mental state that was not healthy for you. Divine Discontent. The poem from Rumi says, "Winter falls upon us, so spring can bring new growth. Cry the tears, allow the longing. Sadness brings surrender and a deep desire to be free." Beautiful. Now let's see, what does it say? So there is a sense within you, perhaps quite obvious to your conscious mind, or perhaps only dimly registered as an unnameable underlying sense of anxiety, that something in your life is not quite right. It may be the sense, even amongst so much gratitude, of a yearning yet to be met, a longing yet to be fulfilled and satisfied. This is the pain of the awakening heart. That heart is capable of bliss and ecstatic reverence for the sheer beauty and wonder of creation. Yet, as the heart matures, there will be a process of deep passionate longing that awakens for the divine. It is the impatience of the caress, the impatience for the caress of the great lover, for the presence of the divine to come to you. Over time, that longing will grow from a mild inner sense of incompleteness, needing to become whole. It will develop into a holy fever, a sacred rage, a stamping of dancing feet and pounding of fists upon the altar, and a longing so deep and distressing that one may well break into tears at the impossibility of bearing the pain of apparent separation for even a moment longer. Okay, this sounds very dramatic, and some people might wonder what this divine really means. It really means that deep feeling of joy that comes from within, from connection with self, from connection with the universe, from connection with understanding that we are all one way or another. Whether that comes to you through a certain religion, like an idea of God, or whether it's coming from your understanding of the model of the universe in a Buddhist perspective, say, or in a New Age perspective, maybe connection with your higher self or with the universe, as what Alan Watts puts it. So that type of divine connection with that part within you that is not separated but holds love within, and it's made out of love actually, and we all carry it. We just get separated from it every once in a while because of our fears and worries, and 3D life can be like this, and that's what the journey is supposed to bring up. And we're supposed to remember again and again and again that we are not just this. This is part of our experience, but we're not just this. There's always something deeper. And when the heart awakens in this way and is longing in this way, this divine discontent will pull you forward in order to look for it, and you'll find it. Okay. As devotion grows and passion for the divine intensifies, so too does this yearning, so much so that it may come to feel as though your heart is breaking for the divine. Or perhaps you are not quite there yet. Your heart is attached to smaller gods, such as your status, your job, your lover, your body looking a certain way, or being able to live your life in a particular way. Yes, that's why this is here. That's what you're really integrating in your life this month. Your life is not supposed to just be in a particular way. The life is something that needs to be navigated, learned, and adapted to, and whatever. The smaller gods are not necessarily an issue, yet you have drawn this oracle, so it is guidance for you that the divine wants to draw you closer. Sometimes that means we will have the meager meal wrested from our hands, so we may feast upon something far more delectable and grand. Okay, I'm gonna skip that part. Too much grandiosity and too many metaphors. So just don't misinterpret the pain and think that something is really wrong. If you are surrounded by status and money and cannot understand why you should mourn, it is even more important that you allow yourself to do so. See, mourning is necessary. There is something that has been lost, maybe a version of yourself, or the way your relationship changes, or any of that. Something needs to be mourned. Allow it to be so. Mourning is to be felt. Understanding is not so relevant. But if you must seek understanding, then know this. You are just waking from the deeper slumber, and with your awakening heart, you are realizing a truth. A part of you, deeper, wider, vaster, and more instinctive, truthful and intelligent than your mind, is lonely for the divine embrace. This is right. This is sensible. This is sanity. It is the pain, the real noble pain of the heart that says, there is something more than this inadequacy, this settling for plastic instead of precious gemstones that must end now. I want to allow this pain, this yearning, this divine discontent to guide me to my holy lover, so my life may never be the same again. And so it shall be. The discontent divine growing within you is the beginning, not the destiny. It is purpose. Its purpose is to lead you into greater connection yet with divinity. Do not resist it. Witness it. Do not dismiss it, trying to cover up its smell with rose petals. Let your rank discontent be the pathway to divinity. Look beyond what is, what has been prized and treasured, and is now found to be plated. And now the precious gold it was once esteemed to be. Don't be scared. Okay, so there's a sacred honoring ritual. If you're interested, or if it's something that you feel like doing it, go for it. Otherwise, just let it go. Doesn't matter. It says like this: place one hand on your heart and one on your belly, and say the following aloud: Rumi, who loves me unconditionally, guide me now. I acknowledge the gratitude in my heart, genuine and fierce. And I acknowledge the hunger for the divine unfolding in my belly. The urging forward towards some unknown. indescribable sacred satiety. Guide me to the holy table where the true feast awaits. I am no longer satisfied by the stale crumbs or the remnants of another's feast. I want to feast with the Holy One, the Great One, to know directly and for myself that I am divine. With your mercy, grace, and wisdom, guide me there, dearest brother of my soul. I cast my soul into your care and follow my nose. I follow my nose towards the sweetest scent of the holy feast. Rest or stand up and dance your prayer. Just be with your body and how it wants to be. To rest or move now, whatever you choose. Stay with your breath and with what feels truthful. Say aloud, I release that which is not worthy for my soul to feast upon. I do not decide this for myself from a place of distrust or judgment. I surrender my attachment and I trust in the sacred workings of life to present to me what is needed. I surrender in sacred trust. I surrender. May my life be governed by love for the greatest good and in holy service to love now. So be it. That was the ritual, my dear. Okay, a little bit too many metaphors in this reading for me in this card, but I hope that it does make sense to you because that's what's the most important. And I hope you got something out of this reading, Taurus. Lovely to have you here. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed this reading, please like, share, subscribe, comment. Tell me please how you relate to this experience, and may our practice benefit all beings. I'll see you here next month.